Officer Sarah Jensen had always been an enthusiastic and dedicated police officer. Her career had taken her to various precincts, but her latest assignment at the Willowbrook police station was different. From the moment she arrived, she sensed an eerie atmosphere that hung over the building. Willowbrook was a small, quiet town with a relatively low crime rate. Sarah couldn't help but wonder why the police station appeared to be so different from any other she had worked in. She knew that there were rumors about the station being haunted, but she dismissed them as mere superstition. On her first night at Willowbrook Police Station, Sarah was assigned to the graveyard shift. As she sat at her desk, filling out paperwork, she began to hear faint, whispered voices. At first, she thought it was a colleague talking in a hushed tone, but when she looked around, the station was empty. The whispers seemed to echo through the hallways, their source elusive and unsettling. Sarah's unease grew, and she wondered if the rumors of the station being haunted might hold some truth. In the following weeks, strange and inexplicable events occurred at the police station. Lights flickered on and off, doors slammed shut on their own, and objects moved of their own accord. Sarah's colleagues shared stories of their own encounters with the supernatural, each one more disturbing than the last. One night, while patrolling the station, Sarah saw a shadowy figure moving through the corridor. She called out, thinking it was a trespasser, but the figure vanished into thin air. The chilling realization struck her that she had seen a ghostly presence. Sarah decided to delve into the history of the Willowbrook police station, hoping to uncover the source of the supernatural occurrences. She learned that the station had been built on the site of an old cemetery, and the land had a dark and troubled history. The cemetery had been desecrated to make way for the police station, and the disturbed spirits of the past seemed to be seeking retribution. Sarah realized that the station was haunted by the restless souls of the long-forgotten dead. Determined to find answers, Sarah began conducting her own investigations. She sought the help of local historians and paranormal experts, hoping to understand the restless spirits that haunted the police station. Together, they uncovered a series of unsolved crimes and mysterious disappearances that had occurred in Willowbrook over the years. The spirits seemed to be connected to these unsolved cases, and they sought justice from beyond the grave. As Sarah delved deeper into this supernatural world, she encountered an entity of malevolence that seemed to feed on fear and despair. It targeted the officers of the police station, using their deepest fears and regrets against them. Sarah and her colleagues realized that the malevolent entity was responsible for the unsettling events at the station. They understood that they were in a battle not only to solve the unsolved cases, but also to free the station from the entity's grip. Sarah and her colleagues embarked on a treacherous journey to confront the malevolent entity that haunted the police station. They sought the guidance of a local medium, who helped them prepare for a confrontation with the supernatural. The battle against the malevolent entity was intense and terrifying. It hurled them into nightmarish illusions, playing on their deepest fears and regrets. But Sarah and her colleagues refused to succumb to the malevolence. With the help of the medium, Sarah and her colleagues managed to uncover the entity's true name and recite a binding ritual. The malevolent entity let out an anguished, otherworldly scream as it was banished from the police station. The station was cleansed of its malevolence, and the restless spirits of the past seemed to find peace. The echoes of whispered voices and ghostly apparitions ceased, leaving the building in an eerie but calm silence. Sarah and her colleagues left the Willowbrook police station behind, forever marked by their ordeal. The unsettling rumors about the station being haunted were put to rest, and the malevolent entity that had tormented them was gone. Their shared experiences had brought them closer and reinforced their dedication to their work as police officers. They understood that the supernatural world held mysteries and malevolent forces that could never be fully explained. As they continued their careers, Sarah and her colleagues knew that they would carry the memory of the haunted Willowbrook police station with them, a reminder that even in the darkest of places, courage and determination could conquer the malevolent forces that lurked in the shadows. Sarah and her colleagues continued their careers as police officers, their experiences at Willowbrook Police Station forever etched in their memories. They were determined to ensure that justice was served for the unsolved cases that had been connected to the restless spirits of the past. Together, they embarked on a relentless quest to reopen the cold cases, uncover the truth, and provide closure to the families of the victims. Their shared determination and newfound understanding of the supernatural world fueled their efforts. Over the years, Sarah and her colleagues managed to solve several of the long-forgotten cases that had haunted Willowbrook. With the help of new evidence and a fresh perspective, they uncovered the truth behind the mysterious disappearances and unsolved crimes. The families of the victims finally found closure, and the spirits of the past seemed to rest more peacefully. The police officers knew that they had fulfilled their duty, not only as protectors of the living, but also as champions of justice for the departed. The legacy of Willowbrook Police Station lived on, as the officers shared their experiences and insights with their peers in the law enforcement community. The haunted station had left an indelible mark on their careers and their understanding of the supernatural. As they continued to protect their community and solve crimes, they remained vigilant, always aware that the supernatural world held mysteries that could never be fully comprehended. Their experiences had given them a unique perspective on the darkness that lurked in the shadows, and they were determined to confront it with unwavering courage. The malevolent entity that had once haunted the police station was gone, but Sarah and her colleagues knew that the supernatural world was filled with restless spirits, vengeful entities, and unsolved mysteries. Their mission to protect the innocent and seek justice for the departed continued. They encountered otherworldly beings, haunted places, and unexplained phenomena, always ready to confront the malevolent forces that sought to seep through the cracks between the natural and supernatural realms. Their shared experiences had transformed them into guardians of the balance between the living and the departed, protectors of the innocent, and champions of justice. The haunting of Willowbrook Police Station had become a never-ending battle against the darkness that lurked in the shadows. Years passed, and Sarah and her colleagues continued their tireless efforts to protect their community from the malevolent forces of the supernatural. The memory of the Willowbrook Police Station haunted them, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked in the shadows. One fateful day, a series of gruesome murders shook Willowbrook, leaving the town in a state of fear and chaos. The victims had been brutally slain, their bodies found with strange symbols etched into their flesh. Sarah and her colleagues realized that the malevolent entity they had banished from the police station might have returned, seeking revenge for its expulsion. The gruesome murders were a stark reminder that their battle against the darkness was far from over. Determined to protect their community from the malevolent entity, Sarah and her colleagues launched an intense investigation into the murders. The symbols etched into the victims' bodies led them to believe that the malevolent entity was involved. As they delved deeper into the supernatural world, they uncovered a series of rituals and incantations that had the power to summon the malevolent entity. They realized that a dark cult had sought to bring the entity back to the earthly realm, and they were determined to stop it. Sarah and her colleagues infiltrated the dark cult that sought to summon the malevolent entity. They witnessed a horrifying ritual that brought the malevolent force into the world once again. The entity manifested in a form that embodied the darkest of nightmares, an amalgamation of the fears and regrets of those present. It taunted the officers with its malevolence, challenging them to a final, climactic battle. Sarah and her colleagues confronted the malevolent entity in an epic showdown. The entity used its shape-shifting abilities to torment them, manipulating their deepest fears and regrets. But the officers drew upon their shared experiences and their unbreakable bond to resist the entity's manipulations. They recited an ancient banishment ritual, forcing the entity to reveal its true name and banishing it from the earthly realm once more. The malevolent entity let out a final otherworldly scream as it vanished into the supernatural plane. With the malevolent entity banished, the town of Willowbrook was saved from the darkness that had threatened to consume it. The memory of the Willowbrook police station and the haunting that had once plagued it seemed to finally find closure. The officers had faced the malevolent forces of the supernatural head-on, and their dedication and unity had triumphed over the darkness. Willowbrook was once again a quiet, peaceful town, free from the malevolent entities that had plagued it. Sarah and her colleagues left Willowbrook behind, forever marked by their harrowing experiences. The memories of their battles against the supernatural and the malevolent forces that had threatened their community served as a constant reminder of the enduring power of friendship and unity in the face of darkness. Their journey had transformed them into guardians of the balance between the living and the supernatural, protectors of the innocent, and champions of justice. They understood that the malevolent forces that lurked in the shadows could be confronted with unwavering courage and determination. Their legacy would be one of bravery, resilience, and unity, a testament to the unbreakable bond that had seen them through the darkest of nights. In the aftermath of their latest encounter with the malevolent entity, Sarah and her colleagues realized that the supernatural world was a never-ending well of mysteries and malevolent forces. The haunting of Willowbrook Police Station had left an indelible mark on their lives, and they were forever tied to the shadows that lurked in the unknown. As they continued their careers as police officers, they stumbled upon a series of cold cases that seemed to be connected to a powerful and vengeful entity known as the Dark Enigma. The entity was said to be a being of ancient malevolence, capable of manipulating reality itself and leaving a trail of unsolved mysteries in its wake. The group delved into the enigmatic entity's history, uncovering a pattern of unexplained disappearances, cryptic symbols, and eerie manifestations. It was clear that the Dark Enigma was responsible for the unsettling events that had haunted Willowbrook for centuries. Sarah and her colleagues understood that their mission was far from over. They needed to confront the Dark Enigma, unveil its true name, and banish it from the earthly realm to bring peace to their community. The hunt for the Dark Enigma led the group to delve deeper into the supernatural world, seeking ancient texts, rituals, and knowledge that could help them unravel the entity's secrets. The malevolent force seemed to take pleasure in tormenting them, warping their reality and playing on their deepest fears. As they descended further into the abyss of the unknown, they encountered surreal landscapes, otherworldly beings, and nightmarish visions. The group's determination and unity were tested like never before, but they refused to back down. In a climactic showdown, the group confronted the Dark Enigma in a surreal realm that defied the laws of nature. The entity manipulated their surroundings, creating nightmarish illusions and warping their perceptions. The officers faced their fears and regrets, pushed to the limits of their endurance. The malevolent force attempted to break their unity, but the bond they had forged remained unbreakable. Sarah and her colleagues pressed on, demanding the Dark Enigma's true name. As the entity writhed in agony, it finally revealed its name, Astaroth. With the knowledge of its true name, they recited an ancient banishment ritual that sent Astaroth back to the supernatural plane from which it had originated. A blinding burst of light marked Astaroth's banishment, and the surreal realm they had been trapped in began to disintegrate. The malevolent entity's presence faded, leaving behind a sense of closure and a newfound peace. With Astaroth banished, Willowbrook was finally free from the darkness that had plagued it for centuries. The entity's hold on the town had been broken, and the unsolved mysteries were resolved. The memories of the haunting of Willowbrook Police Station and the battles against the Dark Enigma would forever shape the lives of Sarah and her colleagues. Their shared experiences served as a testament to the enduring power of unity and determination in the face of the supernatural. Sarah and her colleagues left Willowbrook behind, knowing that their mission to protect the innocent and confront malevolent forces would never truly end. The supernatural world was a realm of endless mysteries and unknown dangers, and they were willing to face them with unwavering courage. Their shared experiences had transformed them into guardians of the balance between the natural and supernatural realms, protectors of the innocent and champions of justice. Their legacy would be one of bravery, resilience, and unity, a testament to the unbreakable bond that had seen them through the darkest of nights. As they continued their careers as police officers, they understood that the malevolent forces of the supernatural world were always lurking in the shadows, waiting for the moment to emerge once more. Sarah and her colleagues remained vigilant, always ready to confront the darkness with unwavering courage and determination. The small town of Ravenswood had never seen anything quite like it. The carnival arrived on a moonless night, the creaking of its rusty Ferris wheel, and the haunting melody of a calliope carrying through the quiet streets. The townsfolk, drawn by an eerie curiosity, gathered at the outskirts, unaware of the chilling presence that lurked beneath the colorful tents. As the townspeople explored the carnival grounds, a figure emerged from the shadows: the enigmatic ringmaster. Dressed in tattered crimson attire and adorned with a wide, grotesque grin, the ringmaster welcomed the curious onlookers with a bow that seemed to stretch into eternity. Unbeknownst to the revelers, the carnival harbored a dark secret, and the ringmaster reveled in the fear that clung to the air. Among the attractions was a carousel that whispered promises of forgotten dreams. The townsfolk, lured by the haunting melodies, boarded the intricately carved horses. As the carousel spun, the horses' eyes flickered with an unnatural light, and the riders found themselves transported into a surreal world where the line between nightmare and reality blurred. A troupe of ghastly clowns emerged from the carnival's depths, their faces painted in garish hues that seemed to glow in the dim light. The townspeople, initially amused by their antics, soon felt an unsettling chill in the air. The clowns' laughter, once cheerful, took on a sinister tone, and their eyes gleamed with an otherworldly malevolence. A mysterious mirror maze appeared, reflecting distorted images of those who dared to enter. As the townsfolk navigated the labyrinthine corridors, they became trapped in a surreal dance with their own doppelgangers. Whispers echoed through the mirrors, and the air thickened with an oppressive sense of dread. The carnival seemed to feed on the fear that manifested within the maze. As night fell, the haunting laughter of the clowns echoed through Ravenswood. The townsfolk, now gripped by an inexplicable terror, realized that the carnival was no ordinary amusement. The once vibrant tents took on a foreboding aura, and the carnival grounds became a nightmarish stage where the ghastly performers reveled in the fear they had wrought. Those who dared to close their eyes found themselves ensnared in unsettling dreams. Nightmares of malevolent clowns and twisted carnival rides haunted their sleep, blurring the line between waking and slumber. The ringmaster, a spectral figure in their dreams, beckoned them to embrace the darkness that now seeped into their subconscious minds. The carnival culminated in a midnight masquerade where the townsfolk, now mere puppets in the hands of the ringmaster, danced to an otherworldly tune. The clowns' laughter crescendoed, blending with the dissonant melodies of the carnival rides. As the masquerade reached its peak, the townspeople realized they were prisoners in a macabre spectacle that defied the laws of reality. A handful of courageous souls sought to escape the carnival's grip. Guided by the flickering light of a distant street lamp, they navigated the twisted paths and avoided the malevolent clowns that lurked in the shadows. The ringmaster, his grin widening, watched their every move, relishing the futile attempt to break free from the carnival's cursed embrace. In the heart of the carnival, the remaining townspeople discovered a tent shrouded in an unnatural mist. As they entered, the air became heavy with an otherworldly energy. The ringmaster, now a towering silhouette, revealed the true nature of their predicament: a nightmarish purgatory where the carnival spell bound them to a perpetual cycle of fear. In the aftermath of the cursed carnival, Ravenswood found itself shrouded in lingering shadows. The once vibrant town square bore the weight of an oppressive silence, haunted by the memories of the ghastly masquerade. The survivors, forever changed by the malevolent circus, struggled to return to a semblance of normalcy, their dreams tainted by the grotesque laughter that echoed in the recesses of their minds. In the heart of Ravenswood, a peculiar phenomenon unfolded. Wilted roses began to appear overnight, scattered across the town square. Each flower bore an uncanny resemblance to the gaudy colors worn by the malevolent clowns. The townsfolk, unable to escape the carnival's influence, felt an inexplicable dread as the wilted roses multiplied, serving as a morbid reminder of the cursed spectacle. As night fell, whispers of the carnival's return swept through Ravenswood. The townspeople, haunted by the notion that the malevolent circus had left an indelible mark on their souls, listened to the haunting whispers that seemed to emanate from the very air they breathed. The ghastly laughter, now a spectral symphony, played on a loop in the collective subconscious. With each passing night, the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred. The survivors, tormented by the harrowing memories of the carnival, experienced midnight intrusions into their homes. The flickering of ethereal lights and distant strains of a calliope infiltrated their dreams, leaving them in a perpetual state of dread as the malevolent circus sought to reclaim their fractured minds. One morning, the townspeople awoke to find cryptic invitations strewn across their doorsteps. The paper bore the emblem of the cursed carnival, a grotesque mask adorned with an eternal grin. The ringmaster's invitation promised a second chance at revelry, a chance for the townsfolk to embrace the darkness that lingered within their hearts. Despite their fears, a group of survivors, drawn by a morbid curiosity, decided to confront the carnival once more. The town square, now devoid of life, transformed into an otherworldly stage. The ghastly clowns, their laughter echoing in the silence, awaited the reluctant return of those who had dared to escape the first time. As the survivors entered the carnival grounds, the malevolent circus roared back to life. The Ferris wheel creaked with a newfound vigor, and the carousel spun with a hypnotic intensity. The ringmaster, his grin wider than ever, welcomed them with a sinister flourish. The townspeople, ensnared in the carnival's macabre encore, realized that the nightmare was far from over. The survivors found themselves thrust into a dance of despair, twirling through the cursed carnival's spectral whims. The clowns, their eyes gleaming with an insatiable hunger, circled the townsfolk with an eerie grace. The wilted roses, now strewn across the carnival grounds, served as a morbid backdrop to the grotesque masquerade that unfolded beneath the oppressive night sky. In the wake of the carnival's encore, a small group of townsfolk, determined to break free from the perpetual nightmare, delved into ancient tomes and whispered folklore. They uncovered the existence of a forbidden ritual, a mystical ceremony said to sever the ties between Ravenswood and the malevolent circus. With a mix of trepidation and hope, they prepared to perform the arcane rite that could potentially free them from the eternal cycle. Under the shroud of darkness, the survivors gathered in the heart of Ravenswood to commence the forbidden ritual. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy as they chanted incantations and traced intricate symbols on the ground. The wilted roses, placed strategically around the makeshift altar, seemed to pulse with a life of their own. The town held its breath, awaiting the outcome of their desperate bid for liberation. As the ritual reached its zenith, a spectral rift tore through the fabric of reality. The ringmaster and his ghastly entourage materialized, their eyes ablaze with an unholy fervor. A desperate confrontation ensued between the survivors and the malevolent circus as the townsfolk struggled to maintain the delicate balance between the earthly realm and the cursed carnival. The ritual, teetering on the edge of success and failure, threatened to unleash chaos upon Ravenswood. The veil between dimensions wavered, and the carnival's oppressive influence seeped into the very essence of the town. The ringmaster, his grin contorted with fury, fought to maintain control over the spectral rift that threatened to consume both the living and the spectral realms. In a desperate bid to seal the rift, the survivors confronted the ringmaster with an offer, a bargain that would quell the carnival's insatiable hunger. The malevolent circus, its power momentarily tempered, listened as the townsfolk pleaded for mercy. The ringmaster, ever enigmatic, considered the proposal, his eyes flickering between malice and contemplation. A fragile alliance formed between the survivors and the ringmaster, their fates intertwined in the delicate balance of the ritual. The townsfolk, now bound to the malevolent circus by a pact of necessity, navigated the carnival grounds with an eerie harmony. The wilted roses, once harbingers of despair, now bloomed with an unnatural vibrancy, signaling a tenuous truce between the earthly realm and the cursed spectacle. As days turned into nights, Ravenswood experienced a subdued lull. The carnival's influence, though not eradicated, seemed to ebb to a muted hum. The ghastly clowns, their laughter now distant echoes, roamed the outskirts of town in a spectral procession. The ringmaster, a looming figure on the fringes of perception, observed the town with an inscrutable gaze. The survivors, burdened by the weight of their pact, lived in a state of fragile truce with the malevolent circus. The carnival, no longer a source of unbridled terror, became an eerie backdrop to their existence. The wilted roses, now scattered across Ravenswood like a morbid tapestry, served as a constant reminder of the delicate balance they had struck with the otherworldly forces that lurked in the shadows. Despite the apparent calm, a lingering unease permeated Ravenswood. The survivors, forever marked by the carnival's touch, found themselves caught between the realms of fear and reluctant acceptance. The ringmaster's spectral laughter, carried by the wind, hinted at the transient nature of their truce, leaving the townsfolk to wonder if the malevolent circus had merely lulled them into a false sense of security. In the weeks that followed, Ravenswood teetered on the edge of a waning truce. The survivors, haunted by the memories of the forbidden ritual, felt the carnival's influence ebbing back into their lives. Strange occurrences punctuated their days. A flicker of ethereal lights, the distant strains of a calliope, and the unsettling sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. The wilted roses, once a temporary symbol of reprieve, now seemed to wither in tandem with the fragile peace. A cryptic omen emerged as the townsfolk uncovered a series of cryptic symbols etched into the wilted roses. The ringmaster, it seemed, left behind a spectral message, an enigma that hinted at the malevolent circus's growing impatience. The survivors, their nerves fraying, realized that the fragile truce was unraveling, and the time for complacency had come to an end. In the face of the encroaching darkness, the survivors convened a desperate council to strategize their next move. The cryptic omen, deciphered with a mix of dread and determination, pointed to a looming deadline. The ringmaster, it seemed, demanded a sinister toll, and the townsfolk were left with a haunting choice: surrender to the carnival's whims or confront the spectral menace head-on. As the ominous deadline loomed, Ravenswood descended into a palpable tension. The malevolent circus, its influence palpable, toyed with the survivors' sanity. Shadows lengthened into grotesque shapes, and the spectral laughter, once subdued, reverberated through the town square. The wilted roses, now imbued with an otherworldly glow, marked the countdown to an unearthly reckoning. In the heart of Ravenswood, the survivors prepared for a midnight confrontation with the ringmaster and his ghastly entourage. Armed with a blend of arcane knowledge and reluctant courage, they ventured into the carnival grounds. The wilted roses, now pulsating with an ethereal energy, guided them through the twisted paths as they approached the spectral heart of the malevolent circus. In the eerie glow of the wilted roses, the survivors confronted the ringmaster, demanding answers and an end to the eternal dance. The malevolent circus, ever enigmatic, offered a chilling bargain: a chance to sever the town's ties to the cursed carnival, but at a cost that would resonate through the ages. The survivors, faced with an impossible decision, grappled with the echoes of a pact that would redefine Ravenswood's destiny. As the survivors reluctantly agreed to the ringmaster's terms, a surge of spectral energy engulfed the carnival grounds. The veil between dimensions unraveled, revealing the surreal tapestry of the living and the spectral. The wilted roses, now a conduit for the arcane forces, pulsed with an otherworldly vibrancy. Ravenswood stood on the precipice of a transformative moment that would echo through the town's history. In a blinding burst of ethereal light, the ringmaster's influence waned, and the malevolent circus vanished into the shadows. Ravenswood, freed from the haunting legacy, stood in a surreal silence. The wilted roses, now stripped of their spectral glow, crumbled away, leaving behind a town forever changed by the echoes of a bargain that transcended time. Despite the apparent liberation, Ravenswood found itself ensnared in lingering shadows. The survivors, having glimpsed the malevolent circus's spectral realm, grappled with the unsettling aftermath of their bargain. Dreams were haunted by the twisted faces of clowns, and the townsfolk could not escape the feeling that the carnival's influence lingered in the corners of their waking lives. Reality itself seemed to fracture as Ravenswood navigated the aftermath of the arcane bargain. The town's architecture twisted into surreal shapes, and the once familiar streets became labyrinthine passages that defied logical explanation. The survivors, trapped in a nightmarish blend of the earthly and the spectral, questioned whether the price they paid had irreversibly altered the fabric of their reality. To their horror, the wilted roses, thought vanquished with the disappearance of the carnival, began to reemerge. The spectral flowers, their petals pulsating with an eerie glow, sprouted in unexpected places. The survivors, tormented by the resurgence of the wilted blooms, understood that the malevolent circus's influence had not been completely exorcised. Whispers rode the winds through Ravenswood, carrying tales of a spectral resurgence. The ringmaster's laughter, once distant, returned with an unsettling insistence. The survivors, caught in the echoes of a pact that refused to fade, found themselves drawn to the carnival grounds once more. The carnival, it seemed, sought a new audience for its eternal spectacle. As the survivors ventured into the carnival grounds, they discovered a rift in the fabric of reality, a tear that bridged the earthly and the spectral. The ringmaster, his form distorted by the fractured veil, stood at the nexus of the tear. The survivors, gripped by a morbid fascination and a sense of impending doom, approached the enigmatic figure to confront the consequences of their fateful bargain. The ringmaster, his gaze both hollow and penetrating, acknowledged the survivors. The wilted roses, now a manifestation of their perpetual pact, encircled him in a spectral dance. He revealed the nature of their hollow bargain, a cycle of torment and liberation that transcended time. The survivors, trapped in the carnival's eternal grasp, were faced with a choice: accept their spectral fate or attempt to shatter the chains that bound them. In an act of spectral rebellion, the survivors sought to defy the carnival's relentless grip. Armed with newfound determination, they traced arcane symbols on the carnival grounds, attempting to mend the fractured veil. The wilted roses, their spectral glow dimming, seemed to react to the survivors' efforts, pulsating with an uncertain energy. As the survivors delved into an ancient ritual to repair the tear in reality, the carnival's influence fought back with an otherworldly ferocity. Shadows twisted into grotesque shapes, and the ringmaster's laughter reverberated with a haunting resonance. The wilted roses, caught in the crossfire between the earthly and the spectral, became conduits for arcane forces that threatened to plunge Ravenswood into an abyss of eternal darkness. The ritual, its success hanging by a thread, reached a critical juncture. The survivors, their minds teetering on the brink of spectral madness, confronted the ringmaster in a final bid for liberation. The carnival grounds quivered with an otherworldly tension as the torn fabric of reality seemed to unravel further. The wilted roses, now a symbol of defiance, stood at the center of the spectral storm that determined the fate of Ravenswood.